One morning, Nia was assigned to Farquhar while Thomas was being repaired at the steamworks. She was doing good in the yard until she heard quite a commotion. James was shunting freight cars and bumping them hard. "Look what I can do, Nia," said James. "I think they might come quieter with a gentle touch," advised Nia. "Rubbish," said James, who had just made the other freight cars come off the rails. "Oof!" cried the freight cars. "You think you're a prick?" they grumbled. "Maybe I can take them," said Nia. "Sure," said James. Knock yourself out of it." Nia coupled up to the freight cars. "Huh?" they said. "You're not our engine." "I saw how James was being reckless," said Nia. "Come on, let's get the rest of you sorted out." Nia took the freight cars away, and she sorted all of them out. Later on, when James came, he was surprised. Nia had shunted all the freight cars in place. "Well," said James, thinking of a plan, "I might, get a big..." Then James had a smirky smile on his face. "Maybe Nia can take them. If I bump them hard enough, they'll derail her off the track." "Don't you even think about it," said his driver. "You know full well that you would be punished for this and receive consequences." "Oh, come on, driver. Since when was the last time I got in trouble?" When you pushed several freight cars and caused the tunnel to explode. And Sir Top Hat made you clean it up, and trust me, he did." James just snorted away. Later on, Percy was shunting James's train, and James bumped him hard. "Ow!" cried the freight cars. "We don't want you, we want Nia." "Well, Nia's not here. She said she'd rather pull coaches than pull you." The freight cars were very cross, and they bumped James all the way. Later on, Nia came to the yard to collect the freight cars as usual. "Oh, look, it's that orange tissue box," they glared. "Yeah," said another. "Let's derail her off the track so she can see what karma is." "But I did none of that," said Nia. "Come on," said the freight cars. She went too far with us," James said. "What James said," said Nia. "Whoa, no!" "Driver, slow down," cried Nia. "I can't," cried the driver. Neither could the fireman. "Let's derail her," said the freight cars. "No," cried Nia. And the freight cars crashed off the rails. Luckily, Nia wasn't hurt or derailed. "Whew," said her driver. "That was an absolute close one." But the freight cars didn't survive. "Ouch," they said. "Now we realize why we need brakes like you steamies." Later on, Thomas came back from the works. "What's wrong, Nia?" said Thomas. "These freight cars came off the rail," said Nia. "I need help." "Well, I can take them for you," said Thomas. Because of what James said, the freight cars realized their error. "I hope you're happy," called the workman, "'cause you four were jumping towards conclusions." The freight cars felt horrible. Later on, Thomas took the freight cars back. As for James, however, Sir Top Hat confided him to shunt in the yard for the next 2 months as punishment for manipulating the trucks. After he apologized to Nia. Needless to say, nowadays, James is kinda learned how to not bash freight cars so quickly to see how important he is. Very funny, narrator. It's not funny. Oh, shut up, fourth wall breaker. And Nia now knows that she can bump into freight cars carefully.